Welcome to chapter 49 of the book of Genesis. Jacob blesses the remaining sons. The last chapter we saw Jacob blessing Joseph's two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, claiming them to be his sons as far as the lots when they were going to be cast, when the land would be divided 440 years later. I'll read a little in the Greek, and we'll go through the chapter. Ekalase de Jacob tus Iusav tu, ke ipe sinachite ina ego anangilo imin ti apantisi imin escatu ton imeron. And Jacob called his sons, 12 still alive, and said, "Come together, that I may announce to you what will meet to you upon the last of the days." Now, the last of the days, what last days is he talking about? The last of their lives, or the last of the days could be sometime in our future. And it begins, "Gather and hear, O sons of Jacob. Hear Israel, your father," mentions both of his names. Jacob, Yaakov, birth name, and Israel, spiritual name given to him by God when he wrestled with God. And then he starts with all the sons. Reuven, prototokos mu, my firstborn. You are my strength and the beginning of my children, stubborn to bear and stubborn, self-willed. So this man was at the beginning as firstborn, stubborn man. He's overflowing as water. You should not erupt, for you ascended upon the marriage bed of your father. Then you defiled the strewn bed of which you ascended. And Reuben was the first son of Leah, first son of Jacob, and what he's referring to is in Genesis 35:21, where he went to bed with Bilhah, his father's concubine. It says, "And it came to pass when Israel dwelt in that land, Reuben went and bedded with Bilhah, the concubine of his father, Jacob. And Israel heard, and it appeared wicked before him." Well, we'll go to a place in 1 Chronicles 5:1. It says, expands on this, "And the sons of Reuben, firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, but in the profaning the strewn bed of his father," that means probably like straw beds, "his rights of the firstborn was given to the sons of Joseph, son of Israel. And he did not trace descent for rights of the firstborn, but Ephraim and Manasseh did. For Judah was mighty in strength above his brothers, and a leader came from out of him. But the rights of the firstborn was to Joseph." And then it goes into the sons of Joseph. So Reuben, even though he was the firstborn, gave up the rights. But Reuben was also the person that tried to save Joseph when he was cast into the well by his brothers, and he was going to come back and get him out of the well and take him back to his father. And then it continues, Simeon ke Levi, Adelphi, brothers, Simeon and Levi. Simeon was the second born of Leah, and Levi was the third born of Leah, who was the woman that was given to Jacob to marry instead of Rachel by Laban the father. Tricked him. And they completed injustice by their heresies, IRSCO, sex. What that exactly is talking about, I'm not sure. But may my soul not come into their counsel, and may my insides not be established with their joint conspiracy. For in their rage they killed men, and in their passion they hamstrung a bull. Now, what is he referring to here? I believe in Genesis 34:25, where these two went in and killed all the men of Shechem when Dinah, their sister, was Dinah, yeah, she wasn't raped, but she went to check out the city of Shechem, and the son of Shechem, that they had relations with her and wanted to marry her, and these brothers found out about how she was supposedly despoiled by them, that they went in town and tricked the men of Shechem to be circumcised, and when they were all in pain, they came in and killed them. So then he continues, he says, accursed is their rage, for it was self-willed, wasn't what Jacob wanted. And accursed is their vehement anger, for it was hardened. I will divide them in Jacob and disseminate them in Israel. Now, being divided, Levi ended up becoming the priestly class of people. Then in 8, we have the next son, Judah. May your brothers have praised you. He's the son of Leah, the fourth son of Jacob, fourth in line. Your hands are upon the back of your enemies, and the sons of your father will do obeisance to you. Judah is a lion cub. From a bud, O son of mine, you ascended. Reclining, you went to bed as a lion, and as a cub, who will rouse him? A ruler shall not fail from out of Judah, and one leading from his thighs until whenever should come the things reserved to him. And he has expectation of nations. Who else could this be except Jesus, who came through the line of Judah as David, his forefather, did? And so he is the expectation of nations, which is exactly what Jesus is. And the sons will do obeisance, and eventually they will do obeisance to Jesus with their face on the ground when he returns. And then it continues about him binding his foal to a grapevine. Now, exactly, is that Judah, or is that the person that's the expectation of the nations? Which it could be with Jesus in when he went into Jerusalem, and with the fetter, the foal of his donkey, which he tied. He shall wash his apparel in wine, and in the blood of the grape his wraparound garment. And Jesus certainly did experience the blood, and it talks about this in the book of Revelation, about the blood from the, what do they call it, the harness of a horse. His eyes causing joy away from wine, which Jesus does, and the white of his teeth than milk. Lev-ki, we have leukemia, with the white blood cells. And milk, galactic. Odontics, the teeth. The next brothers, Zavulon or Zebulon, shall dwell on the coast, even he by the mooring of boats, and he shall extend unto Sidon up in Lebanon today, and apparently he's going to be these people will be a fisherman on the Mediterranean. The next son, and Zebulun was the son of Leah, and the 10th son of Jacob. She had a few years in between where Jacob had other sons from the other women. Next is this Issachar. Issachar desired the good, taking rest between the lots, and this is throwing of the land, taking rest or pausing between the lots. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but Issachar is the 5th son of Jacob, and he's the son of Leah. And seeing the rest, that it was good in the earth, or land, that it was plentiful, he placed his shoulder to the toil and became a man for farming. Georgos, George, named George, is a farmer. So that's Issachar. The next is Dan, who was a son of Bilhah, who was a maidservant of Rachel, and he's the 9th son of Jacob, and he will be a judge. He will judge his people as even one tribe in Israel. And let Dan become a serpent upon the way, lying in wait upon the road, biting a heel of a horse. And the horseman shall fall unto the rear places, remaining about for the deliverance of the Lord. Now, I think this has to do with judging and dealing with the people somehow. The next son is Gad. He is the son of Zilpah, the maidservant of Leah. He's the 7th son of Jacob. And he says he's a marauder, will maraud. Now against him, I have it underlined to italicize it later, but he will maraud, underline again, him by feet. Now marauding you can add it's not the word, but these should be in green right here. Piratevsi, Piraterion, and Piratevsi. We have the word pirate, comes from that. So marauding, somehow he's going to be doing something like that. I don't exactly know what that's referring to, but the next son, Asher, who is the son of Zilpah, who was Leah's servant, and he's the 8th son of Jacob. And it says, Asher, plentiful is his bread, and he will give a delicacy to rulers. So some type of a provider, exporter possibly. Next is Naphthalim. He is the son of Bilhah, Rachel's maidservant, and the 6th son of Jacob. And he is a trunk springing up, giving beauty in the offspring. Possibly with a trunk, wood giving up the beauty of the offspring, possibly an artist or a craftsman. That's my guess on him. Now, how these relate to the end days, I'm not sure, but definitely with Judah, with Jesus. In verse 22, Joseph is a son increasing. Now, it's interesting that he doesn't use Ephraim and Manasseh in this list. And Joseph is the 11th son of Jacob. His mother was Rachel. And it says, Joseph is a son increasing with Ephraim and Manasseh, a zealous son increasing. My younger son, to me you returned, against whom with deliberation reviled, and the masters of the bowmen pressed against him, and their bows were mighty with might, and the nerves of their hands arms were loosened through the hand of the mighty one of Jacob. So I'm guessing that has something to do with the military. That's my guess. He's going to have a lot of people doing this. From there, the one strengthening Israel by means of God of your father. Strengthening Israel. So see, I think that would be the military. And my God gave help to you and blessed you with the blessing of heaven above and the blessing of the earth, having all things because of the blessing of breasts and of the womb. The children to Ephraim and Manasseh probably. A blessing of your father and of your mother. He has excelled in strength over the blessing of the stable mountains and beyond the blessings of everlasting hills. They will be upon the head of Joseph and upon the top of the brothers whom he took the lead by his becoming ruler of Egypt, I suppose. Next, his last son, Benjamin, 12th son of Jacob. His mother was Rachel. A predaceous wolf shall eat in the early morning, yet even in the evening he distributes provisions. Now I'm guessing some type of a hunter is what he's referring to here. Now that's the end of the blessings, and it says, all these sons of Jacob, 12. In all these words their father said to them, and he blessed them each. According to his blessing he blessed them. And he said to them, I am added to my people. Entomb me with my fathers in the cave which is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave, in the double cave before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham acquired, the cave of Ephron the Hittite, for a possession of a memorial. This is in Genesis 23:17. He buys this property and buries the people, and now Bethel is right here, and Mamre is, the place where he was buried is called Machpelah. It's east of Hebron, and now Hebron is down here. So it's right in there. And Machpelah, as I mentioned when we were going through that section, is the name of a lot of cemeteries in the United States. And it continues, there they entombed Abraham and Sarah, his wife. And there they entombed Isaac and Rebekah, his wife, son of Abraham. And there I entombed Leah, who died early, in a property of the field, of the cave being in it. Now, Rachel was buried in Bethlehem, by Bethlehem. The property from the sons of Heth. And you can read about that in Genesis 23. And Jacob rested, giving orders to his sons, and lifting up his feet upon the bed, he failed and died, basically. And he was added to his people. So the end of Jacob, I think most of the largest amount of the chapters cover Jacob and then Joseph. Maybe next, I haven't really added them all up, but a lot about Jacob, what happened to him. Interesting person. And now, the last chapter of the book of Genesis, Jacob is going to be entombed. We'll find out what that's all about in chapter 50. I hope you join us in the next video seminar. Until then, God bless.